Hey y'all, it's Holly, Common Sense True Crime. I wanted to make a video today concerning the search for Summer. I'm going to be talking about CNC investigations. Chris is the man behind the company. He's a private investigator. And I'm going to play a video in just a second, but for those who may be newer to Summer's case, this was a private detective. At the time, his wife was working with him too. And the two of them had said they were hired by Don and Candace. I don't know where they would have gotten the money. Don and Candace would have gotten the money to pay for a private investigator, but that's a whole other story and theory. So right before it was the 1-year anniversary of Summer's disappearance, there were some news reports about searches that were still going on. And I believe personally this was done and highlighted by police and the press so that when her 1-year anniversary came up, it wouldn't look so bad for them that they had gotten absolutely nowhere. So I'm just let you hear a little bit of the interview WJHL did with Chris of CNC Investigations, just to give you an idea of what they were saying about the searches that were being highlighted by the press that CNC were involved in. And this was right before June 15th of this year, her anniversary. Here you go.
Investigator is also still involved. He tells us that he's working parallel to law enforcement.
The reason I'm here today is because I do not want her name to go on the back burner. I don't want her case to be forgotten about.
It's not just the fear of what's unknown. It's fear that we may never know that keeps this case active for private investigator Chris Colball.
We were contacted by the family and asked to help with this case, and we accepted that. Since we've started, we've interviewed tens and tens of people.
CNC Investigations, led by Colball, was hired by Candace and Don last year. Now, with Don in jail for parole violations, the investigator's job hasn't ended, just grown more challenging.
Still today, we still have communication with them virtually daily, but it's different than it was before. It's not face-to-face, it's not in person.
But it's different than what it was before. The investigators used drones and divers to aid in the search.
If we don't investigate all areas, then we're not doing her justice.
Still, there is nothing. No evidence that there was an abduction. There's no clear evidence she walked off. 1 year later, there's not much definitive evidence at all, leaving all possibilities open along with the case.
As crazy as this is and as big of a circus as it has gotten to, it has at least kept her name out there and interest in finding her.
So I had begun to wonder if there were any searches still going on. There was some other information on another channel about this very subject of these CNC searching, and it was said by Chris that they were searching once a month. So I got to wondering if they were still doing that. Is there any searching for Summer going on? I called CNC Investigations and I spoke to Chris. I asked him if the searches were still happening, and his answer to me was very vague. It was, the searches will happen at the date and time that the landowners, and that would be Don and Candace and maybe some other people further out, but he said that the search would happen when the date and time was given by them that they wanted it searched. Translation, nobody's searching. Nothing's happening now. That's my opinion. And I asked him if we would, as just regular citizens, be able to search during one of these searches, assuming that they'll happen at some point. And he told me that I would have to be certified. I said, certified as what? A volunteer searcher? He said yes, and to look it up, and that it would have to be in my state of North Carolina. So when I started Googling it and researching it, the only certifications for searching out there are to become a private investigator. You do not have to have certification to volunteer to search for a missing person at all. So that was definitely just, putting distance between me and me coming to volunteer to search. I think that was dishonest. I think he knew better, and I think he knew what he was telling me wasn't right. He does seem to be a really nice, easygoing guy. I don't think he's involved in any way, but I've never liked the fact that, they've worked with Don and Candace. I feel like people with integrity probably would have disassociated themselves from Don and Candace at some point. So that is my take on that. So in the search for summer, is anyone doing anything? Are any groups searching still? And I probably would make a pretty large bet that nothing's happening with searching for her. And I want to know why. I know you guys do too. Thanks for listening. Have a good evening. Bye.